Hi, welcome to the White Guys Show. I'm Whitey, and today I'm going to review the film Flight of the Phoenix, which came out in 2004. This is a film that was directed by John Moore, produced by John Davis, William Aldrich, a host of people. Written by Scott Frank and Edward Burns, and it stars Dennis Quaid, Giovanni Ribisi, Tyrese Gibson, Miranda Otto, Hugh Laurie. There's a bunch of people in this one. So what basically happens is you have. Let me read this. This is from Wikipedia. When an Americorps oil rig in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia proves unproductive, Captain Frank Townsend, co-pilot AJ are sent to shut down the operation and transport the crew. Americorps executive Ian, rig supervisor Kelly, Rodney Davis Little, Jeremy, Sammy, Rodney, Kyle Newman, and Dr. Gerber out of the desert, along with a load of cargo from the site to be liquidated and redistributed to another site, causing the plane to be overweight. However, en route to Beijing, a major dust storm disables one of the engine of Towns when Towns attempts a vertical climb with an overweight plane, forcing him in the crash, land their C-119 flying boxcar in an uncharted area of the Gobi Desert. Kyle falls to his death, and the crash kills Dr. Gerber and Newman. The cargo consists of used parts and tools from the rig's crew, and Elliot, a hitchhiker. When a dust storm ends, it becomes apparent that they are 200 miles off course with only 1 month's supply of water. Jeremy thinks of walking to get help, but Randy explains that July is the hottest month in Gobi, and that even if he used a compass and walked at night, he would not make it. Yada yada yada. So what's ultimately going to happen in this film, this is based on a 1965 film of the same name I haven't seen, but Giovanni Ribisi plays this British guy, and the plane has crashed. They've only got so much food, they've only got so much water, only got so many resources. You got about a dozen people who are slowly losing their minds that they're going to die in this desert. Giovanni Ribisi comes up with this idea. He says he designs aircraft, and so he comes up with an idea to take the one engine that still works, and basically the parts and pieces from the plane that are still functioning, to build a separate plane, a new plane, different from those parts, a different plane, and fly out of there. And that's really ultimately the whole film, is their efforts to build a plane from the remaining functioning parts of the original plane, and fly home. This film's pretty good. This is not necessarily like a great movie, but it's an entertaining, fun film. You get behind it. The characters are none of them are horribly fleshed out, but just enough that you care about them. It's a bit tough when you have. I don't remember exactly how many people I start out with. Some people do get killed. At one point, they run into some. I don't remember some bad guys. Like drug dealer, cartel types, or black market types, whoever they were, and there's a fracas and a shootout. At least one guy gets killed, and so they're in a very dangerous, very bad situation to be in. Their hopes hinge on Giovanni Ribisi being able to design this plane. Of course, he's a jerk. He's a horrible pain in the butt to deal with. They go through a lot of personal stuff, but the characters are just you know them well enough to care about, do they get out of this or not. The direction of the film is fine. A little bit of CG from storm effects and stuff, mostly practicals, and it all looks fine. No major qualms there. Visually, everything's fair enough. Nothing to blow your mind away. Nothing, take you out of the film. There's a score. I don't remember anything about it. The writing is fair enough. And this is a film where, if you like the actors, especially, like, I'm a Giovanni Ribisi fan. I love that dude. So, and have him play a British character with this accent he's got going on and stuff. And I was in it. I was like, all right, Dennis Quaid's good people. A bunch of these actors. There's at least a couple people that I know would end up in what's the show that was really popular and then it let everybody down? What was that called? With all the Peter Dinklage and stuff. What was that called? Now I'm actually blanking on the name. Um, Game of Thrones. Gee whiz. At least a couple of these people are in the TV show Game of Thrones. And you see him in just, there's a lot of people in this. Hugh Laurie went on to go do House and D among things, that you would see in other stuff. You'd recognize people for sure. So if you don't know Giovanni Ribisi and Dennis Quaid from a million different movies and two shows, there's plenty of other people in this. Good cast, good acting, good performances. This is an enjoyable film, not an A plus, but a solid B, maybe like a B minus kind of film. It's worth watching. It's worth your time. And do I spoil this or don't I? I'll just leave it at that. But it's kind of without giving the film away. That's the whole premise. The plane crashes in the middle of the desert. They've got to take the parts that still work, make a plane, and learn to overcome their differences and work together. And I hate to say that, but it's there. It's a theme in the film. They have to overcome their differences in personality. And the one thing I will say that I recall, there wasn't a whole lot of what you have nowadays, where there's not like a trans character. Nobody, to my knowledge, like sexuality doesn't come up at all. They don't have time. They're trying to survive a limited amount of food and a limited amount of water and supplies. So, is this person bisexual? Is this person possibly trans? They don't get into that. If there is any discussion about race, it ain't much. It's like a little dash of salt that might be in there. So it's kind of nice. You go back to a day back in 2004 where you can make a film that's just about a bunch of people that end up in a bad situation, and they have to find a way out of it. And the rest of, liberalism versus conservative, Donald Trump was just a guy at this point. He didn't have to have a big lecture about white people are horrible or nothing like that. So, the good old days. So, Flight of the Phoenix, entertaining film, not an A plus, but solid. A solid, enjoyable movie. I recommend you go check it out. There's a little bit of violence, the smallest amount of language, nothing serious. Anybody 12 and up could watch this, no problem. Probably even more like 9 or 10 would be okay. So, for anybody, I think this is an enjoyable film to pop in and have some fun with. And so I hope you check it out. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies. Um, I'm on different platforms, but I'll discuss that in another video sometime. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Cheers.